Because we know that we're back to serve you with everything that is happening in Nigeria, but not just Nigeria, the world at large. Good morning once again. I am Ria Abdul. Welcome to our show.
And I will welcome you to the breakfast show this morning. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Happy to be here. And I'm happy to see you guys. It's a Monday morning.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Mondays are beautiful days for me, actually.
Actually, of course, if you've had a great weekend, it will be a beautiful
weekend. I had a fantastic weekend. Well, you look well rested. You look like you had a
Of course. I had a beautiful weekend, of course.
How did you do it? I didn't rest at all.
Of course. I had to plan
busy.
myself because I had a lot to do, but indeed, in between, I knew I needed to rest because Monday is here and I need to give my best as much as possible.
Absolutely.
And like we have rightly pointed out on our menu today, we'll be talking about TVC's groundbreaking introduction of AI news anchors, and then we're also going to talk about the federal government's move to addressing insecurity in Nigeria. But first, let's begin with the story where the Lagos State government, through the general manager of its Environmental Protection Agency, Babatunde Ajayi, says it is stepping up advocacy efforts to address the growing problem of noise pollution. Esther Omokwariola has details.
Marching through the streets of Lagos with various inscriptions on hand, these volunteers are lending their voice on the dangers of noise pollution in the environment. With an estimated population of more than 20 million, Lagos grapples daily with varying levels of noise, from blaring horns to loudspeakers in neighborhoods. According to the agency, noise-related complaints top the list of environmental reports received from residents.
We call on music organizations and all the other people who are involved with noise production to please stand by our regulations, act within limits, make sure that you're not the reason someone else doesn't get sleep, make sure that you're not the reason someone has mental health problems and cardiovascular issues. We also call on manufacturing industries and people with heavy commercial activity that will inadvertently generate noise to please be more considerate to people around them. Also, we would like to stand very firm on our role as regulators to insist on enforcement at any point in time when we notice that people are flouting the regulations and they have refused to obey.
As part of its efforts, the agency says it has now simplified the process of obtaining a noise permit.
On this note, I would like to mention again that we have simplified the process of reporting noise. So if you have any neighbor, if you have any organization around you that is in the business of making noise, you can go on our website, www.lasepa.gov.ng. You will see a complaint form or desk there. You can click on that link, fill the forms. Our numbers are there. At every point in time, you can call us. We'll document it and immediately take it forward.
All right, according to the Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, the standard approved noise level in residential areas should not exceed 55 decibels during the day and 45 decibels at night. And then there has to be standard approved noise level in industrial areas that should not exceed 90 decibel during the day. Now, the standard approved noise level for commercial areas should not exceed 70 decibel during the day. All religious houses and other entertainment outlets are to operate within enclosed and soundproof environments with regulated use of speakers. You know why I'm laughing, right? Because we find out that even in residential areas where you find churches, mosques, it is not soundproof. They wake you up early in the morning when you are not yet ready to wake up, and sometimes when people raise an eyebrow, they tell you, do your worst.
You know, why I actually laughed was all the decibels you were reeling out. Right? You know? Yeah, how did they measure it? 50 decibel. The average Nigerian on the streets doesn't understand what decibel is. So when you're passing a law like that, you don't only pass the law using the appropriate language. You should break it down and throw the message around. That's number one. Number two, how good is the enforcement of this thing? You know, enforcement
challenging.
Is quite challenging, and it will be challenging. Look, for us Africans, noise making is part of our lives. Go to Oshodi bus stop, for example. You're saying 70 decibels there. Are you serious?
In fact, go to some streets in Lagos State. You don't want to learn that song, but because there's one DJ on that street that keeps playing certain songs, you must learn that song.
And you know, it's so funny because when Governor Soludo spoke about this in Anambra, everybody was saying that, oh, he was trying to cancel evangelism, but that was not the case. He was talking about people preaching in the market. Veronica, imagine you go to the market just to buy stuff, and then you're here, you must follow Jesus, you must follow. Like, I sincerely feel like there's a right time and a right place for everything. And also, there's this story about, I'm not going to mention the name of the church, but one of my friends used to live by a church. When she wants to sleep, you hear, die by fire, die by fire. How is she going to sleep?
Even if you do not mention the name of the church.
How is she going to
know? You don't need to mention the name of the church.
How is she going to sleep? So I feel like also our religious people, we need to do something. Maybe we need to do soundproof the speakers.
That's what the Lagos
you can worship God, but as you're worshiping God, what if the next person is not a Christian or the next person doesn't want to worship God? The person has the right to that. So I feel like these are things that we really need to look at. And also we need to understand that this noise, it does so many things to us. Lagos is already very hot, heated. Imagine on a heated day, you're just trying to get past your day and then noise everywhere, mental health. I think that they should really now put a lot of...
I think awareness is a critical aspect of enforcement. If people do not understand, like he rightly mentioned, what you're talking about, decibels and all of it, and the implication of this noise to your eardrums, how it is that some people have actually lost the use of their ears because of this noise. But then if we are not creating awareness, how do you ensure enforcement, Ibrahim?
So I believe that the awareness has been there. LASEPA has been on this for a long time. I remember that I'd reported certain institutions over noise making, and I'd seen them act, even though they didn't act early enough. You said that it's an African thing, yes. That you've even seen two people greeting themselves on the street of London, and then the white guys will be calling police like some people are fighting on the street, whereas they're just greeting. So, but I think we should not normalize what is not good, because at the end of the day, it's going to affect our hearing. It's going to impair our hearing. Mental problem. In fact, causing cardiovascular problem, because if you're not able to sleep, these are the fallout of you being exposed to noise and all of that. So if the religious centers feel like, yes, they have to, do their thing, you don't need to shout necessarily, because God is not deaf. He can always hear you, whether you shout or even, pray silently. God will always hear your voice. So if you want to do that, let there be a proper acoustics, for the places of worship, whether it is a mosque, whether it's a church, or any other thing, so that you will not disturb the next person, within the street. So for me, I think it's a way to go. Awareness is what we're talking about. Yes. Decibel or no decibel, at least you know when you're making a noise. When you're shouting,
people don't know.
When you're disturbing.
But some people don't know.
So when you are being told, you should listen.
Work on soundproofing the churches if it's possible.
Because
most of this noise
it is not even compulsory that you use. I know some churches, they don't use loudspeakers. Even when they use it, you see that everything is within the church.
Yes.
The message is for the people within the church. You don't have to impose.
They want others who did not go to partake of whatever is going on in the church.
But there's a way you can reduce the level of noise.
Yes, of course, there's a way you can reduce it.
Right.
But then there's also, I think, there should also be the aspect of those who play loud music in their vehicles.
That's right. That's right.
Because some people feel that they need to hear loud music so that they can be awake. For instance, those of us that drive early hours of the mornings, so that even if you wind up, people can still hear.
As if your car is not a solid car.
So if someone is honking from behind or anything, you won't hear. It's a problem.
Because they want to stay awake. There are those who want to stay awake while driving, especially if they don't have other persons in the car with them.
Also, get chewing gum or something. Don't disturb other people because you feel like you're going to sleep.
Of course, it's important.
Noise has a lot of adverse effects on human beings that we really don't put our fingers to.
That's right.
The one that I saw in traffic, this guy just suddenly, it was hot afternoon, sun blaring. The guy just couldn't stand the honking, the engines revving and all that. He got out of his car and started taking off his clothes.
Yes. It can happen.
Yes.
All right. Definitely.
Okay, we'll have to leave the conversation here now, but